So the other day I was thinking about what might be going on inside the minds of our characters. When they are faced with something very upsetting or very emotional and don't know how to deal with it. Now this is something that happens a lot in movies and TV shows, but not as much in video games. In games there are cutscenes which basically pause the game to tell the player what is going on. Why a certain character might be feeling a certain way, or acting in a certain way. But this doesn't always happen. If we look at real-life cutscenes don't exist, so we have to figure out what's going on ourselves. So I thought it would be interesting if we were to take some scenes from movies and TV shows and try to guess what is happening inside the head of a character who is currently freaking out trying to do their best to hide it. Before we start, just a quick reminder, this video contains examples and spoilers for various movies and TV shows. Also, since I can't read minds, this is all speculation. So let's get started. The reflection started talking first. This one is actually from an episode of Black Mirror called USS Callista. The main character here is an officer on a spaceship who has been in cryosleep for a long time. When he wakes up, things aren't exactly what he expected. His wife is dead, the ship is damaged, and his daughter, who should be 4 years old, is now an adult.
On top of all this,
it turns out that he isn't even the captain anymore. He used to be first officer, but because he woke up so late, he's now the lowest ranking officer on the ship. The scene we are looking at here takes place shortly after he finds out that he is no longer the captain. Just before this scene started, he was talking to the new captain and asked him why he didn't wake him up sooner. Basically, he thinks that he should still be captain and that they made a mistake. When the new captain told him that this wasn't the case and that he should accept that things have changed. He leaves the room and walks into the bathroom to look at himself in the mirror. What's interesting here is that the reflection starts talking to him before he says anything. It tells him that it has time to accept that he will never be captain again and that it has time to move on. He doesn't respond, but the reflection continues talking, saying that he looks defeated and that he should stand up for himself. The reflection also seems to be very smug about the whole thing, almost like it's enjoying watching him suffer. Obviously, the reflection isn't really talking. But it's really clever how the creators of the show portrayed this scene, because it shows how this man is feeling inside. What's going on in his mind is that he's upset about not being captain anymore, and he knows deep down that this is probably for the best, but he still wants to argue with someone. He's hoping that maybe if he argues enough, someone will agree with him. But obviously that's not the case. Nobody is going to agree with him. Even the reflection is arguing against him. It's almost like the reflection represents the rational side of his brain, the part that knows that it's best for him to accept the situation, while the rest of him is still stuck in denial. That's why he doesn't answer the reflection. He doesn't want to accept the reality of the situation. He doesn't want to accept that he will never be captain again. He thinks he deserves to be captain and that the others did something wrong. But deep down, he knows that this isn't true. I think this is such a great scene because it shows that sometimes our own brains can turn against us. Our own thoughts can make us feel worse about ourselves. It's like there are two sides fighting inside of him. One side wants to give up and accept the situation. The other side wants to keep fighting in hopes that maybe someone will come around to his point of view. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, please consider leaving a like. It really helps support the channel, and I appreciate all the support I can get. Phone call in the MCU movie Captain America: Civil War. The main character gets framed for a bombing that killed several Wakandan citizens. The bombing was done by a terrorist group, but they managed to hack into the network and make it look like he did it. Now he has a warrant out for his arrest and has to go on the run. We see him in this scene here walking into a bathroom to call someone and ask them for help. As soon as he gets into the bathroom and closes the door, he lets out a big sigh. Up until this point, he's been trying to pretend that he's innocent and that everything is fine. But now he finally allows himself to believe that he's in trouble. Only now he's alone and nobody knows that he's calling for help. What is interesting here is that we can see what is going on inside his head based on what he says and how he acts. He says, "You got a minute, I need your help. They're coming after me." And then he pauses. You can tell that he's now thinking about the people he's put in danger by asking for help. He knows that if he does this, they will also be in trouble. But he needs help. He can't do this alone. He says, "Look, I know this sounds crazy, but I need your help. I'm sorry about what happened in Lagos. I shouldn't have listened to you." He then stops speaking and thinks for a moment. He probably realizes that this isn't entirely true. He was the one who decided to go after the bad guy. He could have listened to her and stayed away, but he didn't. He continues, "I'm coming home. Don't worry, we'll sort it out."
Thanks.
And then he hangs up the phone without getting any answers. What? He doesn't get the help he needs, but that's okay. Because just by talking about it, he already feels better. He was carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders, but now he knows that he's not alone. He put his feelings into words, and that made them easier to carry. Next time you're feeling overwhelmed, try doing the same. Write down your thoughts or talk to someone. Putting your feelings into words makes them easier to deal with. Being too hot. This next scene is from the 2017 movie, War for the Planet of the Apes. This takes place right after the main character was set on fire by a human soldier. Right before this scene began, he was trying to rescue some apes, but he had to retreat when one of the humans threw a grenade. That grenade set him on fire, and now he's seriously injured. A female ape sees him running away and immediately goes over to help him. She extinguishes the flames and lays next to him to keep him warm. First he tells her to leave because he's too hot, but she stays anyway. She probably knows that he's hurt and just wants to help, but he keeps telling her to leave because he's afraid that he will burn her as well. Again, what is interesting here is that we can see what is going on inside his head based on what he says and how he acts. At first he thinks that he's too hot to touch, so he tells her to leave. But as the scene progresses and she doesn't leave, he starts to calm down. He's still scared, but he knows that she won't leave him. He's safe. If you've ever been burned or scalded before, you know that the worst part isn't the pain, it's the fact that you can't stop shivering. Shivering only makes things worse. It makes the burn worse, and it makes you feel worse. You feel like you're in control, but you really aren't. Your body is betraying you. He probably thinks that she's worried about burning as well. So he tells her to leave, so that she doesn't burn. But she doesn't, and he knows that she won't. And that's what calms him down. He can't save himself, but she doesn't care about that. She's willing to sacrifice herself for him. That's what makes him feel better. Sometimes all you need is someone who cares about you. Someone who's willing to help, even if you don't deserve it. That's all for this video. Let me know in the comments which scene you liked the most. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.